Vou fazer outra pergunta.
I would like to ask another question, if I may.
A páginas tantas no livro,
I would like
tu
to
dizes que
discuss
fala do racismo vivido por
a little bit of
pessoas
the ideas related to
e,
racism.
e falas no facto de Cabo Verde
You mentioned the
não
fact
ser
that
habitado antes da colonização
Cape
e,
Verde was
portanto, a maioria dos
inhabited before the
cabo-verdianos
colonization, so most of
ah,
Cape Verdeans are
não
mixed race
fazia, mas
people.
também
And you also
é algo que se fala pouco, não é? Falamos
comment that this is something people don't talk much about,
do
right?
racismo vivido por pessoas negras, se bem que hoje o termo
People don't talk
negro,
about racism of
no geral, dá
black
até
people. I believe that in the book, this is
negras mesmo
described
como mestiças, dá
people
negritos.
who are black and people who are mixed race.
Gostava de
So
ouvir um pouco,
I would like to
gostava de te ouvir falar um pouco sobre isto, sobre
you to talk a little bit
esta
about
questão
this
do racismo
matter of
também
the racism
no livro, não é?
and how it is discussed in within the book. Yes, this is a topic that I wanted to discuss and I wanted to handle because it's a reality. We all, but many people, not many people talk about it because usually racism is experienced both sides, the white side and the black side. But or for the non-white people, of course. And this is something that we've seen happen in many situations throughout history. We know how societies work. We can see that in the United States, to be black, to be African American, you only need to be a part of that ethnicity. So if you see Kamala Harris, she is black, but she's not black as Oprah Winfrey. So in the US, they are both black. So all that is necessary is a very small percentage of black blood running through your veins to make that people being defined as black. In Europe, it goes a little bit differently. In Portugal also. We don't usually call mixed race people negros or black. This is not a very comfortable topic to discuss, but I do have experience on that because I am a mixed race person, and very often I've been mistaken for white by white people who invited me to take part in racist jokes. And I don't enjoy that because if people understand you as white and you know you're not, it's also a moment when you start reflecting. But it's also a violent relationship. It's something violent, aggressive, being seen as white and being taken into these kinds of racist situations. And then there's even a more perverse way, which is for people who are mixed race and who, in a way, tried to remain close to white people because that was more comfortable. So they ended up forgetting a little bit their origin. But it's also possible to see the other way around. So you see like mixed race people who identify completely with the African culture. I really like the gray zones in between, and that's where literature exists. It's this ambiguity that is exactly where literature resides. And I talk about my own experience because many people see me as a white person, but every now and then I've also been seen as a black person. So I have lived situations in which people would prefer to be seen as white and who were really, really trying their best to forget their origins. There's also a book written by Philip Roth, a Jew from USA. The book is called The Human Stain. And in there is this story there's of a young person who wanted to be white. And then when he was in the Navy, he also does it as a white person and then goes back to the civilian life, starts dating a Jewish girl. And he believes he can also be taken for Jewish. And he abandons completely his black family. There is this conversation that is very hard, very painful between this character and his mother. And he says, okay, I'm going to a different direction, and from now on, I am white, and I don't want to have any contract with black people. It is a great book, very acclaimed, and it really reflects a lot what we talk about these situations that are at the border of identities. And as somebody who is dedicated to literature, I see this ambiguity as an incredible and very fertile
bastante
ground.
interessante
Yes,
geralmente
yes,
as
that's
pessoas
very interesting. And
tomam essas atitudes para sobreviver, não é?
usually
Para
people
lá
do
está,
that
não é
exactly as
por
an
uma
attempt to
questão de
survive.
desigualdade, é por uma questão de sobrevivência numa sociedade
Sometimes
que é
it's
racista, não é?
going to be
Eh,
the survival is going to
Portanto,
depend on that attitude in a racist society.
Could I just maybe
Yes.
add a bit to the answer I gave to Lucia before?
Ok.
So, Joaquim,
Mas
the
aí,
book was
prepara.
published in 2017, but I imagine you were writing it, a little bit before that. By the time I was translating it, we're into 2021, 22. We've got Black Lives Matter. The whole landscape's changed. Joaquim's
Uhum.
writing for either a Cape Verdean or Portuguese reading public. We're doing the translation for an Anglo audience, but a Californian publisher, where the issues of which words you choose, and even the debate about some of the themes that Joaquin's just talking about have either advanced more than or moved on more than when he began writing the book, or more than probably they have in Portugal now. I mean, it's obviously a hot topic in America, in ways that it's only beginning to be in Portugal. So I did find it therefore sometimes a bit daunting to be translating it. Also aware that I was a white Englishman, so jumping in, trying to sort of find the solutions. Obviously, ended up deferring a fair bit to the publishers at the other end, and their sort of judgment on the readership. But there were a lot of layers to contend with in that sense.